All right, Justin, let's go. Bellator 270.
So excited.
We're not going to go over every single fight on the card. We're just going to look at the top 3 fights. They're the ones that have all the attention right now. We'll begin with the German, Daniel Weichel, versus the man from Portugal who now fights with SBG in Ireland. So this is kind of in his backyard.
A little bit.
Pedro Carvalho. Now, Carvalho is coming off a couple of knockout losses, including getting starched once. So there's a lot of question about whether or not his chin is there. And Vikkle is a hard hitter from Germany who is a seasoned veteran who kind of wants to spoil the show for Carvalho in his backyard. What do you think about this contest?
So initially looking at this, I can see that Vikkle has over 50 matches experience. He has 41 wins, 12 losses, putting out 53. All right, that's a lot of fights going in. So he's going to come in with a little bit of damage, but a wealth of knowledge. So, like I said, veteran presence. He's coming off that win against Diggs. He did lose to Sanchez, but for the most part, he's a pretty solid winner. You know what? I think I'm going to go with the veteran status on this, and he's going to knock out his essential European rival, the Portuguese, in the backyard of Ireland.
Yeah, I mean, the chin is suspect.
At best, yeah.
So that's the real question here. He started out as a striker. He says he's gone back to working on his striking. But I don't know. I have a feeling that he'll protect himself significantly. Mm-hmm. I just think maybe that has made him a bit gun shy.
A little bit.
And that Vikkle may have an advantage pressing the fight because Carvalho's worried about getting knocked out. I got to agree with you here. I think Vikkle gets the win. I don't know if it's a knockout. I would decision.
I think it's going to be a decision.
Right? So we'll see. We're both going Vikkle on this one.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Next, we got the actual Irishman, James Gallagher.
Yep.
Versus Patchy Mix. And both of them only have one loss on the record.
For now.
The difference here is that Patrick Mix has faced top competition in the States, very well-known competitors, whereas James Gallagher has sort of burst onto the scene against a bunch of European talent that people don't know as much about.
Yep.
And there's being a lot said that maybe his record doesn't really represent his skill set.
Hey, Cobe, you spoke to James, didn't you?
I spoke to both these guys, and there's no love lost between them. Okay, none whatsoever. This looks to be... It's weird because they're both submission specialists.
Right.
Right? These are jiu-jitsu experts, really. They're great grapplers. If this was a striking competition, this has all the makings of Fight of the Night because of how much these guys hate each other. But because it's a ground battle that we're probably going to see here, I just think it could be a very technical contest between the two, and it may come down to who's the better submission specialist. Although I do like the fact that James Gallagher has switched from SBG in Ireland to James Krause in Kansas City. He's got a great striking coach now. So maybe if he keeps this on the feet, plus the hometown behind him, that might be enough for him to squeak out the upset in a decision here. But if it doesn't go the distance, I think Mix gets the win. If it does go the distance, maybe Gallagher and the crowd is enough to influence the notoriously terrible judging in MMA.
Like Burt Watson said, you never leave it to the judges for this reason.
Unless the fight's in your backyard.
Exactly.
Right?
Or you're
the champion. That's the 2 times you want the judges to decide.
Right. So James Gallagher has this for being in his backyard, for being Irish. Although he trains in Kansas City nowadays.
Yep.
So he's not in Dublin anymore. However,
but his family's there.
His family's there. His roots are there. It is what it is. So he's technically a home crowd boy. I imagine a little more of the energy coming from him there. So he might come out guns a-swinging, submissions a-straddling. I don't know. I think it's going to be a different match than what we're used to seeing James Gallagher do. I think it's going to be Gallagher 2.0, especially because he has that chip on his shoulder. And not a lot of people, especially during the press conference, as you showed me and as you bore witness to, weren't doing enough research on him. And he was a little infuriated, I guess. So I think he's going to have a point to prove. And I don't see this going the distance, but if it does, I'm taking Gallagher based on home crowd.
Yeah, I agree with you in that. Mix will probably get the submission.
Yeah.
They'll probably finish him. But if he isn't able to finish him, if Gallagher's ground game is good enough, then I think he could outpoint him during the beginning of each round, which might be enough, striking-wise, to eke out a decision victory. I think it'll be a great fight for the educated mixed martial arts fan, for sure.
Yeah.
It's going to be a real chess match. Then we get into the main event for the vacant lightweight title. A lot of controversy about this fight itself because basically it was originally Pitbull who vacated the title, made a deal with Bellator that he wanted his brother to be in on the match for the vacant title. So Patricky Pitbull was the obvious automatic inclusion. He's the number one contender, so that makes total sense.
Yep.
They didn't want to fight each other, right? So Pitbull's moved out of the division. And then you've got Queally, because this is in Dublin. He's Irish. It lined up perfect. Plus, they just faced each other in May, and Queally got the win.
Yep.
So the weird thing about this is that Queally is the underdog.
Yes.
Okay, and there's a lot being talked about that, and I think that just comes down to the name recognition of the Pitbull brothers is just, it's too high.
That's like the Diaz brothers.
That's right. So Vegas wants to stick with them. It just sees that name and says they've got the odds. Now, I expect Patricky Pitbull to win the first round.
Oh, of course.
But if he doesn't win in the first round, I'm going Peter Queally the whole way. I think his cardio and the way he weaponizes pace is going to be enough to take out Patricky Pitbull.
Well, he's the cardio king, right, Queally?
He's the cardio king in the lightweight division.
Exactly. So this is set for what, 5 rounds?
5 rounds.
Yeah, okay, so 5 rounds. Queally's got this.
Right?
Survive
5
the first,
rounds.
survive the second.
In his hometown.
Yeah.
All the fans are behind him.
He's won before.
It's for the title. He's coming off a win against Patricky Pitbull.
Yeah.
Right? All of those things factor in. The fact that he's being seen as an underdog is ridiculous to me. This is a bet. I mean, we placed the bet, right?
Yeah.
We placed it because how could you not?
Yes.
Right? It'd be like, someone you're certain is the favorite being mistakenly listed as the underdog, so you go ahead and place the bet. And that's what this feels like to me.
So it's funny when you talk about mistakenly placed bets, because early last year when Kevin Durant was coming off of his ACL surgery and he was playing for Brooklyn, his first game back, Vegas had him not making more than 3 threes that game at like 230. And I was like, are you serious? I put $5 on that and walked away like $10 richer. I was like, Kevin Durant's going to rain threes. What are you talking about, Vegas? This is one of those situations, right?
Yeah.
It's like, but look, I get Kevin Durant. He was coming off ACL. Fine. Totally cool. And he came back early against the Raptors. We all saw that happen. But this is interesting in the sense that the winner, or last time they fought, is the underdog. That makes 0 sense. And plus it's in his backyard. So many things from the favorite. But it just goes to show how much a name can hold weight in this world.
That's right.
Right?
I like it. It's my favorite bet of the entire card by far is Queally to win. We're not going as far as predicting what round or method of victory.
Nope.
We're just taking the plus 160 and running with it on Sports Interaction because I think he should be the favorite and he's not. We got to just roll with it.
I agree.
What I like is the fight that this sets up. So after this is done, we've got Brent Primus, who went on and on again about how he should have been in this vacant fight for the belt because he really is one of the top contenders out there. He just came off his win with Benson Henderson. He felt like that should have been for the vacant title, but the Pitbull brothers made the deal where Patricky would get the first shot at it.
Yep.
So I think whoever wins this is going to have to face him for, well, he'll consider the true belt.
Right. So it's like an unofficial interim unification.
That's right. And I'm going to say it right now, I like Primus over either of these guys.
Oh my God, yes.
I just like his wrestling ability, his ability to smother his opponents. I think within 6 months, we're going to see Brent Primus as the lightweight champion in Bellator. I'm making that prediction right now.
You heard it here first on Pro Sports Podcasters.
Boom.